Better at Hungry Jack's.
This is AM Agenda. Thank you very much for your company. Joining me now from Melbourne, Liberal MP Josh Frydenberg, and here in the Sky News Centre, Labor frontbencher Ed Husic. Ed Husic, first to you on the comments by Roger Corbett. Your response to that?
Well, look, I think what we've had through the course of the campaign is, particularly in terms of the News Limited coverage, blurring between news and opinion. I mean, Roger Corbett, I don't know what has got him uptight this morning. It may be the fact that, you know, as a former head of Woolworths, he's uptight about the PM's comments regarding the concerns that are in the community about what they believe is the relative power of Coles and Woolworths in the grocery sector, and I don't know if he's decided that he's going to chip in his 5 cents worth that way, but we've got, putting all that aside, we've got a campaign where we've focused on the issues that matter for people in this election, and in terms of in terms of healthcare, education, the NBN, and we just got to focus on those issues rather than the sideline eye.
Josh, what do you say about the sideline eye as Ed described it? Christine Milne said that Roger Corbett, if he wanted to make some comments, make an intervention, he should have joined the debate a long time ago, not three days before the election.
Well, the timing of Roger Corbett's comments are a matter for him, but he's absolutely right. Kevin Rudd is discredited, Kieran, because he doesn't have an economic record that he can defend, nor does he have an economic plan that he can promote. And that's what this election is about. It's about who can best manage the economy, who's going to get rid of the carbon tax, who's going to repeal thousands of new regulations, and who's going to reduce the cost of living for people. And that's what we're on about. And Roger Corbett, as a leading businessman, may I say, who's chairman of Fairfax, nothing to do with News Limited, who gave his interview on ABC TV, nothing to do with News Limited, he's just reflecting the views among the wider population that Kevin Rudd is discredited and the Labor Party has no plan for the future.
Ed Husic, I want to turn to one of the things that you're trying to seek re-election on, and that's the NBN. You've got a big role in that as well as Parliamentary Secretary. Now, Deloitte this morning have said that they did these numbers that Labor are using this morning to argue a benefit to families of some $4,000 by 2020 from the NBN. Deloitte says this is not a cost-benefit analysis. It was done by Deloitte back in May, June. This has not been released by Deloitte now, rather the Department of Broadband. And so they're trying to distance themselves from these numbers a bit.
And the thing, well, no, I don't think they're necessarily. I think they're giving their context on it. But what we've known for quite some time is that having strong broadband is basically a driver of economic growth. And Deloitte has previously released reports that have shown, for instance, that it's delivering between 50 billion now and potentially 70 billion into the future. And the reason for that is by making businesses work more efficiently and smarter, and the productivity benefits that come out of that.
So you can get it quicker from the coalition because they're going to have theirs delivered sooner, aren't they?
Well, actually, the coalition will deliver a subpar product that they say they'll get rolled out by 2019, and we'll have ours done by 2021. They'll deliver theirs about roughly just over 29 billion of government equity. Ours will be 30.4, I think it is, roughly, in government equity. Their speeds, if they get 50 megabits per second download, they'll be lucky. We're turning on a network this year, by December, that'll be 1,000 megabits per second download. The bottom line, though, coming back to the economic benefit, Kieran, is that households and businesses will find greater benefit, greater savings as a result of what we're doing. On the other side of politics, they'll not only not get the download or the upload speeds, but importantly, they will charge up to $5,000 to get connected for something that we will do for free under our plan.
Okay, Josh Frydenberg, your reaction to Ed Husic's arguments, particularly the fact that it might be 2 years sooner, but a subpar product according to Ed Husic, and one which is only going to cost a little bit more if you went the full NBN.
Look, Ed will be on the age pension before Labor delivers the broadband. I mean, the fact of the matter is, as you say, Deloitte have said this is not a cost-benefit analysis, but Labor's NBN program has been plagued by cost blowouts, by long delays. Their rollout is years behind schedule. The alternative is our plan. We will deliver the same services, 100 megabits per second, faster and in a more affordable way. And just yesterday, Malcolm Turnbull was at a site in New South Wales where it was fibre to the node, 100 megabits per second, and it was delivered years sooner than Labor would have ever delivered to that area. And what is, the great irony of it was that those premises were just 1 kilometre away from Anthony Albanese's electorate. And Anthony Albanese is the Minister for the broadband, and he can't even deliver 1 kilometre away from his electorate.
There have been delays, haven't there, as Josh said? There have been delays in this.
And the big issue has been, Kieran,
and management problems as well.
The big issue, Kieran, has been negotiating a massive corporate deal with Telstra to get access to their network, to their ducts. And this is the big unknown in terms of what the coalition's putting forward. What the coalition's putting forward is relying on copper. They either have to lease it or buy it off Telstra. They have not released how much that's going to cost, and this will put a massive hole in their costings because they, unlike us, where we're just getting access to space, they have to get Telstra's copper, and Telstra knows the coalition will be a desperate customer because that's all they've got. And they've got, in terms of the example Josh put, that is a total lottery. Like, they're basing it on you getting access to new copper in that premise, as opposed to what we're doing with fibre.
Well, finally, Josh, you can make a comment on that. I do want to get your thoughts, though. We've only got a few minutes left on this commitment by Tony Abbott to be an Asia-first Prime Minister, that he'd visit Seoul, Beijing, Tokyo, as well as Jakarta before he went to the US and the UK.
Well, just finally on that NBN point, Kieran, Malcolm Turnbull released with full costings his extensive policy, I think, back in April, and Labor hasn't been able to touch it. So those costings are well and good and will deliver better broadband, more affordable and faster. In terms of Tony Abbott's focused on Asia, he's absolutely right. The first point is Kevin Rudd has ignored our region. He preferred, as Prime Minister, to visit Bucharest before he visited Tokyo. And as Foreign Minister, he preferred to visit Liechtenstein before Port Moresby. That's a pretty appalling effort. But we understand that the real opportunities for Australia are in the region. There are going to be more than 3 billion people in the middle class in the Asia Pacific by 2050. That's going to be a huge opportunity for Australia. The government has sat on its hands when it's come to free trade agreements. They haven't been concluded with China, they haven't been concluded with India, they haven't been concluded with Korea, and we don't have a closer and economic partnership with Indonesia. So Tony Abbott's going to respond to that by getting to the region first and foremost, concluding deals and stopping the boats.
We've only got 1 minute left, but Josh, obviously not a fan of Bucharest.
Well, I don't see why he's so anti-Hungary. But anyhow, when you look at
hungry, Bucharest is not hungry.
I'm thinking Budapest. I've got to go back to the Atlas. But anyway, when you look at what we've done with China, with India, big agreements in place. And the coalition, all they've done really is tell Indonesia that they'd force a policy down their throat in terms of turn back the boats. And the warm-up back that Tony Abbott had was John Howard, who told the region that it would be effectively the deputy sheriff for the US. Tony Abbott's approach has been basically to lecture and hector. And if, as The Economist says, the only foreign policy he's got is turn back the boats, we'll be interested to see if this works.
Ed Husic, Josh Frydenberg. Gentlemen, thanks so much for this morning, and for the last 3 years. It's been a big 3 years, and all the best on Saturday.
Great times with Jay Fry.
Thanks, Kieran. Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, guys. And 3 days to go. It's been, as I say, a massive 3 years. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Ed. And Josh, a quick break. We'll be back on AM Agenda.